in Ukraine with Ewan. Hey,
Hello
Ewan.
there. Hi there. How you doing? Yeah.
COVID handshake.
Yeah.
Hey, so Ewan, you're dating with us here in Kiev.
Yep.
How's it going? Where are you from? And yeah, how's it going?
Yeah. I'm from the south of the UK, so it's going great here. Beautiful city, beautiful restaurants, greenery. There's so much to see and do here. So there's plenty of opportunities to entertain the ladies that you meet. So you've got no problems with that. You just make sure you just be yourself, and you'll have a great time.
Yeah, you talk about hitting the ground running. I mean, you landed and you had a date and then another date.
Yeah.
Talk about the first dating experience. How did it go?
Yeah. So literally, Joe's right. Landed, got myself ready. Dumped everything at the hotel. Got some money. Went straight there. I didn't even have time for a cup of tea. I was offered tea, obviously, but didn't have any time for that. We went straight in, and the first date was fantastic. Went to a nice French restaurant. I had an interpreter. So don't worry if you can't speak the language, there are interpreters available. That's the first time I did anything like that, and it actually was a lot better than I thought it would be with another person there. So and then after,
Can I just chime in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, we're live, guys, so if you have any questions, please feel free to shoot them in the chat. The funny thing is, my wife and I were in your restaurant. And when you saw it, and Luba came over and said, "Hi, Luba, who's your coach, was also your translator."
Also translator, yeah.
And I was watching your lady's body language. She came from Kharkov, and she was just obviously totally into you. And then I went to the loo for a moment, and she was in there brushing her hair, reapplying her makeup, and I went, "Yeah, Ewan." She's totally into you. So
Yeah. So and it went that went well, and then. You always have the opportunity then of the interpreter to then leave, have some time with her, and to be honest, she did have a little English, but we did manage to still talk for a good number of hours after that. So even without the interpreter, you can still communicate and get that vibe off her, and it was just fantastic.
And then you had to bail on that date to go to the next date, wasn't
I
it?
did, yeah. So I had to, So I basically had to, be polite, say goodbye, and then I had to then cross over the road back to the office. But luckily, there's a flower store. Get some more flowers, and then meet the second lady, and then we went for a walk after that, and that was quite pleasant. There are lots of parks here as well. So went from a meal to then going on a long walk, and we had a good conversation, a good chat, and also she went through some of the sites as well. So it was very, very nice as well. So two different dates, one after the other. It was fantastic.
Cool. So maybe how many dates have you had now? And then who's your? Oh, you got hit by a fly.
Okay, by fly then.
How many dates have you had in total, and how many days? And who's your fave?
3. So I've had 4. So I've had 5 dates in total, with a few more, and I think the last lady, which I had on the Friday, was probably my favourite. And I actually asked her on the Saturday, and then asked her to go for a second date on the Sunday, which I had some free time. So, and then I've got some more dates after this before I fly back home. So.
Maybe ask about your favorite lady. How it was her birthday and what happened.
Oh yeah. So when I turned up for the date, I got some special flowers because it was actually her birthday. So I was told it was her birthday, and I was quite surprised that she considering it's her birthday, that she turned up because I'm a total stranger. So that was great for her to do that, and she's very happy. Obviously with the bigger bouquet of flowers, which I got her. And then again, she didn't speak much English, so I had an interpreter. But even then, she invited me to go with her friend out for a few drinks, and we went to a karaoke bar. So we managed to get by with what little English she had, and also with Google Translate. So again, and spent maybe another 3 or 4 hours with her. So that was great. So yeah, we definitely bonded on that, and then I went to a second date with her a few days later. So it's great.
Cool. And then she invited you out to the club.
Yeah,
You went
to the
dancing.
karaoke. Yeah, so a little bit of a dance, a little bit of a sing. So I said that I like karaoke. She likes to sing, so she sang. I sang as well. So that was a bit strange because obviously a lot of the tunes were Ukrainian, and then I turn up and sing an English song. So that was. I actually I got a round of applause as well from someone who came over. So that was great. So that was an experience as well. So if anything, it's a great experience.
Very cool. Let's talk about the level of beauty that you've been dating here. So you're from UK. Where are you from exactly?
So I'm from Gloucester, from a place in Gloucester, which is South England.
And so, I mean, I've only seen your first lady, who came from Kharkov, and I'll just say you did well, right? You did well, and long brunette hair and dressed impeccably.
She was
gorgeous,
nice. She was a
yeah.
nice dress. Yeah, nice dress.
Yeah.
I mean, it's yeah. So it obviously the town where I come from. It's a smaller town. There's another small town north of that where. There are some more attractive ladies, but I think that you have in the UK is more of a 50-50 split. Well, not even 50-50 split because
That's generous.
yeah, that's generous to be honest. And you know, it's like a lot of the nice ladies are actually snapped up already. So just when you come here, it's just a different level. It's I know you see the videos, you see the pictures, but when you actually come here, it's a different level when. You know, you're sitting outside a restaurant and just sitting there having a tea or coffee, just people watching. You'll be amazed. You will be amazed at the level, you know, of beauty for the women here. It's
On this point, how do the ladies compare from their profile photos to meeting them in real life?
I think it's important that they you know, submit all the photos. You just make sure you have a look at all the photos. The photos are great, and you know they look great as well. So it's you know it's not as if you know the photos are not what they look like. It's the photos are you know what they look like in person. Probably so they actually look probably better in person because the makeup and the way they do their hair and the way they dress. So they're actually better in person than they are from the photos. So yeah, it's fantastic.
Cool. And would you consider yourself, you know, in Ukraine, the ladies you're meeting now, are they out of your league? What you'd consider back home, or what would you say about that?
I would probably say they are personally just for me. I think some of them are out of my league. That's more maybe of a confidence thing. But over here, it's different. They've got a different attitude, and I just feel more comfortable with approaching or even talking to women that are really quite attractive because that more likely that they are interested in you more so than what you look like or even maybe how you dress. I mean, obviously it is important with how you dress and your presentation, but they are more interested in you, in what you are, your personality and your traits and things like that.
So, great segue to the next question. How do you know? A lot of guys come here and they're like, they're not sure she's really into them.
Yeah.
How did you read that? What was that like for you?
I think it's like the responses that you get from from the ladies. If they if they respond with quite a long description of something, and it's not a short reply. But the way that I see it is probably more so with I suppose like most people with the body language, more so with the eyes, the smile. I mean, if they've got beautiful eyes and beautiful smiles, that it's and to me that's probably also from my side is their eyes and their smile, if they're smiling. Even the quieter girls, they will have beautiful smiles, and that they're going to be interested in you, that they that they do find you attractive, or they do find you interesting.
And Yeah, they're smiling at you, they're engaged. Are they asking questions about
yeah.
you?
Yes, and also with the questions. So they'll ask you questions when you reply back or ask them questions. They'll go into a great detail, um, about the subjects as to what they do, what their hobbies are. They're not going to be short answers. They'll get into quite a lot of detail. And again, if they ask you questions, about your family, what hobbies you're interested in, and then it then branches off into other discussions, and then from there you'll find common interests. Either if it's books or sporty, gym or stuff like that. You usually find that it will branch off into the discussions, and it just keeps flowing. So and again, even with an interpreter, you can tell from that, even if via it's a third person, because that's where I thought I would struggle, is going via a third person, but it's not. You do pick that up from the lady and also from the interpreter as well, but you do pick things up as well, so don't let that put you off.
By the way, guys, this is totally improv. We're just winging it. I'm thinking, well, he's talking what questions to ask him, but that's a good one, what you just stumbled across. Have a spot of tea. It's kind of like, yeah, high noon, high tea time here.
Yeah.
It really is. Your favorite lady, you told me, doesn't speak much English. Now, this is a real sticky point for guys.
Yeah.
And I've got guys dating in Ukraine right now telling me, okay, I'm not meeting any more ladies that don't speak English. They came to that decision. And what's going on in your head? Why is your favorite lady, one with low level of English? And what do you think about the whole thing?
Yeah, I think it's just, I think you do, when you have the discussion initially, you'll know that the lady's interested, and then depending on like I said before, even afterwards, the lady's interested. You can still get by either with Google Translate or things like that. But I think you can't just go straight in with the Google Translate, because straight off the bat, she's not going to get a feel for you. It's that initial part. She'll get a feel for you, and then you'll be then able to then get by. Maybe use Google Translate, and then she'll be, even if it doesn't translate exactly what you want, she'll get what you mean. So and that's what I've got with my favourite lady. She does speak a bit of English, but because we've got that connection, it's that connection, and because we've got that, even if she's a bit quizzical from some of the answers you get from Google, I think she kind of gets what you're talking about. So again, that first initial introduction, that first discussion, even with an interpreter, it's more important than just going blind in with Google Translate, because it's just not going to work. But you can use that as a tool afterwards, and it does help.
It's very wise what you say. I can say. So, how did it go for you? You had a translator one time.
I've had quite a few times actually.
No, but on the first date.
On that first date, yeah. So I had the Google Translate, the interpreter on that first date. And
then after that, you were solo.
After that, I was solo. She knew a bit of a bit of English, and I think, to be honest, this is another thing where some of the ladies say they have little English. I think they put themselves down, because their English is, they do have a lot more English than what they think. I think it's a confidence thing as well. So and if they're more comfortable, I think that they start to open up a little bit, and then they do try and use the English that they have. And again, in combination, I think all of the women that I've met who said that they don't know much English, the English that they do know, it is very helpful. So I think they put themselves down a little bit from the English side of things. So and then with that in conjunction with Google Translate, it does work.
Fantastic. The thing is about the translator, it's great to have a translator for the first time if her level of English is 5 or below, because you guys get to understand each other quickly, to understand if there's potential there. On both sides.
It is important. If you just go blind in with Google Translate, it's not you know, it's not going to work because you are kind of going through in a way, it's kind of like a wall. So you know, you're writing and then you just give it back to somebody, they're reading it, then you give it back, and again, there's no, it just doesn't feel personal. It's very difficult to get that connection from there. And again, Google Translate, it's not perfect. You'll be even. I can see some of the words that comes out, and even I know that some of the stuff doesn't work with some of the, like, you've got to be careful with slang words, not to put slang words in because it's not going to translate correctly. But again, it's important to have that initial interpreter in there to break the ice, to make that or make some kind of connection, and to pass on. And again, you've got a body, you've got somebody there to actually pass on that feeling that you're trying to convey. And Google Translate won't do that initially. So that's why that's important.
Plus, I think the girls were into you, so maybe you didn't need this quite as much as maybe some other guys.
Maybe,
but
maybe.
did Luba, my next point is, Luba, does she give you some insights as to what she thinks about you, and was that useful at all?
Yeah, I think that was, with Luba, there was a relationship already there in terms of communicating with regards to the ladies that you pick, and she gives you advice as well. So there was already a relationship there as well. And so she used that to then pass onto the ladies. So she was able to take the translation and to take the things that she knows about me, and then to pass that on to the lady. Again, you won't get that through Google Translate. So she adds something extra, not only translating the words, but passing on that energy. I suppose it's got its energy. She passes on that energy to the lady, and then she'll advise you as well. So maybe maybe the way you word things is not to say it in that way, or maybe not to say certain things, and things like that. So she'll guide you as well. So again, that's another advantage.
And on the point of your coach, how did you find your coach, Luba, who is also your translator?
Yeah.
Any few words about Luba?
Oh yeah, Luba she was fantastic. You know, she understood. She understood how you felt. The apprehension that you might be nervous, and she will then talk to you, calm you down, and just put you at ease basically. So she was asking questions as well. So I suppose she was trying to prep herself as well. So she tries to get a feel from you as well, or feel of you, and again to then use that to then pass on to the ladies or ladies that you've got. So she was very important. She was fantastic, and she did put me at ease, and because it was nervous. I've never done anything like this before, so it's an experience, and just go for it. It's not as bad. It's not as nervous, and you've got somebody there to help you. So there's no excuse really.
And just for some background on you, Ewan, you're actually of Ukrainian descent.
Yes.
Your mom and dad used to speak to you as a young lad in Ukrainian.
Yes.
And here you are in Ukraine as what I call the Ukraine virgin. Never been here before.
Yeah.
Never had bad experiences. Never had any experiences.
No.
Maybe a little bit about that. Why Ukraine? Why not a British woman? All of that.
Yeah. So I've got the same reasons for a lot of people out there. The actual quality of the ladies as well. It's of a higher quality, but also I wanted to continue the Ukrainian tradition. So I didn't want to lose any of that, any of the tradition side. Pass that on to the children. So that's another reason for wanting a Ukrainian lady. I know what they're like. I know because of the experience I have with the ladies back home. There's some Ukrainian ladies who have gone over to the UK and have married. So I know firsthand how they are with families and things like that. So that's another reason. And also confidence side. Yes, I've been brought up in the Ukrainian culture. I can read Ukrainian. I can, although I don't understand it, I can understand a lot more than I can speak. Again, it's down to confidence. So I just needed help in that side. So that I still needed the translator. So I will be continuing to learn Ukrainian. because I think it's important for me and the culture side of it, and also to help communication as well, because I still think that either the lady will need to speak English or you'll need to speak Ukrainian, just to make it easier, because you need to still communicate, because that's a very important in a relationship, communication side. So but again, you just help each other out. You maybe speak some keywords, she speaks some keywords in English, and I'm sure both of you get by. So yeah, that's my reasoning. So yeah.
Cool, great. Let's see, what next? What next question? Okay, let's talk about your success rate. Just because yesterday Anna and I did a live with a client that's also here. He's a 34-year-old American Chinese, or almost American now, from Hong Kong. He had a 90% rejection rate at age 34, which was great for Chinese and Asian men to understand what's the real world of dating in Ukraine. So, and on that note, I want to really thank you as well for being brave enough to go live here and share your experiences, because it really helps your fellow man out there a lot.
Yeah.
How many ladies did you invite out, and how many said yes, so we can get an idea of your success rate?
What I think now, I had quite a high success rate in terms of ladies coming back as in interested. I think because of the circumstances, especially in the UK with the travel side, it was a bit difficult to try and work things out with the COVID and the tests. So I did leave it a little bit late. It was slightly last minute. It was a few weeks. So when I did submit the list, again, it was quite, in terms of rejections, weren't too many rejections, but unfortunately, again, because of the short notice, I think some of the ladies weren't able to attend because of not being able to look after the kids. Or during work. So I think I had another 4 potential people who couldn't make it because of work commitments or due to childcare. But did also have the option, or Luba did give me the option to also to Skype some of them. So you can come over, even if some can't make it. You're here, but you can still Skype some of the girls there. So you've got options there. But if not, I'm sure Luba would have said, we need some more ladies. Let's submit another 10 or so ladies and see what happens. It comes back. The only thing that I would say is to give more time. I couldn't, but that was because my hands were tied a little bit. I was desperate to come out, and just with circumstances, it was a bit tricky. So I gave it a couple of weeks. So my advice would be to plan and have a good amount of time between wanting to go and then go in, and then you'll be able to then hopefully get a good number of ladies to be able to go on dates while you're here, because that's important.
So you had a low rejection rate. Any idea off the top of your head? Was it 10%, 20% rejection?
I would probably say maybe 20%, 10, 20%. I think it's about a 10, 20% rejection.
Okay. And give us viewers, our viewers, an idea. What caliber of lady have you been dating? Like on beauty level maybe, and then children, no children?
Yeah, it's been a mixture. So I've been dating some of the more attractive ladies, and maybe I think, to be honest, they're all quite beautiful. So it's just a different level. You've got some of the ones that are really quite very attractive, and then you've got the attractive ladies from that side. And as regards to ages, different ages, probably like a 6-year difference, 6-7 year difference of ladies as well, and also a mixture of ladies with children and some without children. It depends obviously on your preference side of things, but personally, if you've got that connection with a lady, obviously the children's side of it is important, but I think it's more important to have that connection with a lady, and then and then you can then use that connection and go, what will I do with this? There is the connection there. Do I move forward with it or do I not? To me, connection is very important. So that's how I deal with it. But it was a big range. I went with quite a big range of ladies. So I was quite surprised that some of the ones that actually did say yes. So again, I think try not to put yourself down so much. Go for those ladies. What's going to happen? She's just going to say yes, or she's going to say no, and if not, then that's fine. There are other ladies, and that's what I did. I think when I started off, I did stick to a very strict bracket, and I then expanded that. And to be honest, I'm glad I did, because the ladies that I was more interested in and had that connection with were in that bracket which I expanded. So again, I think I was just in that mindset of what we do in normal dating is to just stick with some parameters and not expand. And I'm glad I expanded it, because I met some great people.
Super. So how many dates have you had? And I think it was 6?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 dates, yeah.
And how many did you like, and how many did you really feel liked you back?
I think probably 5 of them. But even the one which didn't, I mean, it was fine. We had a great time. I just didn't feel that there was any connection there. But again, I spent quite a long time with her, talking away. It wasn't difficult. It wasn't tricky. We talked. I'm sure it went on for 4 or 5 hours. So it wasn't a bad date. Even on a, it's not even a bad date, but even the one which wasn't interested, it was a great date. Better than some of the dates that I've been on, where they've been quite short, and straight off the bat, it's not going to work or whatever. I think again, the women here are very pleasant, and they're not rude. So that makes things a lot easier as well. So, and I get that type of vibe, especially from the girls back home or the women back home. Quite abrupt and things like that. They're not like, or the women that I've experienced are not like that. They're very pleasant, polite, and things like that. So yeah.
What would you say to guys out there that are saying, Ukrainian women, they only go for rich Western men?
I don't think that's wholly true, because they are, family is important to them, because they are traditional. They're traditional here. That's kind of how they see themselves. That's how they see their worth, I suppose, is from the family side of things. So yes, you do have obviously the attractive girls. They do like to look nice. They do like to take care of themselves. You can see them around here. They do like to take photos of each other, and because they celebrate their beauty, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think what they do is they just they're happy with themselves and the way they look, and they're just comfortable in that. So, but for example, the lady I'm with, that I like and went on 2 dates, she's got 2 children, so she's very attractive. But to her, that it's the family side is important. To her, but it's important to all the ladies. So, and that's what you get from the ladies here is that sense of the family side. They will ask you the questions about your job or how you see yourself, and in your career and things like that. More so from like stability and things like that. The last again with this one lady that I really like. To me, I like things stable. I'm very stable in my job, and very stable in the things that I do, and she actually quite likes that. So she likes the stability side of things. So because that's what they crave here. They like stability. They don't like much change. So to her, that was an advantage, which was quite good, because I thought that'd be quite boring. So. Because that's how I class myself is from that side of it, but she actually quite likes that. So, yeah. So that's.
Let's skip over to the children thing, because there is such a large group of men out there that say, never date a woman with children, and whatever you do, oh my God, never marry a woman with children. What's your take on that?
Right. Okay. I've got good take on this, because when I was dating, so I've been dating for about. So I was quite late in the dating scene, to be quite honest, and I was I was one of those. I was one of those people to say, you know, I don't want to date anybody with children. It's baggage. It's going to be difficult, you know, with ex-husbands and things like that, and then the way the children feel, you know, the usual stuff. But then I met a lady back home. She was Ukrainian as well, but she lived in the UK for quite a long time, and she had 3 children. But I had that connection with her instantly. So I didn't have a connection with anybody, you know, like that. And I had that connection with her, and then she's had 3 kids, different ranges from you know, 4 to 15. And I've never had kids. I've never been anybody with kids. But it just changed my perception on life, and it wasn't as bad as I was telling myself that it would be. How difficult, because I think you have a mindset of how you think it's going to be. You know, you drum it into yourself. Oh, it's going to be this. It's going to be that. Not necessarily. You know, you might have had stories of people like that, but that's not necessarily going to be your story. So, and it wasn't for me, and I got on really well. Unfortunately, you know, relationship ended, but from that, I knew that it would be comfortable for me to meet someone with children, and it also opens you up to more ladies, because if you say, oh, I'm not going to date anybody with ladies, that reduces your pool, and there are some fantastic ladies out there who have kids, and you're potentially going to be missing out on that. So, and that's another reason. So if I was to go back back in time, I would talk to myself and say, you know, and basically say that thing. So open yourself to a bigger pool of ladies, and it potentially is not as bad as you think that it's going to be. That's my advice.
Thanks for your take on it. I fully concur. Maybe they're not for everyone, but everybody has different criteria and wants different things in life. What else? Any comments in general that you want to say, or maybe any advice maybe you'd give to your fellow British man out there that's dating in the UK pool?
Right. Okay. So the difference is when you date in the UK, over here, big thing is flowers. It's huge. So when you go on a date, you buy flowers for the lady. In the UK, you know, I don't even when I go to restaurants, I can't even remember the last time I've seen anybody or a couple where they've got flowers, you know, or they've got flowers on the table, so you know it's a first date. And the dates that I've gone on, I think if I was to turn up with flowers on a first date in the UK, I think the lady would look at me quite funny and say, "Oh, what's going on?" Because they don't expect that. They expect that here, and actually it's quite nice, to be quite honest, because I've never done it before. And it is quite nice because instantly you've put a smile on her face, and you've got some brownie points straight off the bat. So that's a you know, an addition to start off on the date. Where in the UK you haven't got that. You just say hello, and then you've got to then, you know, earn your brownie points from there on. So straight off the bat you've got brownie points on there. Flowers, you know, they're sold everywhere, and it's a lot cheaper than what you can get in the UK. So it's not really a problem. So it's a win-win situation, really. So yeah, that's a big thing that I would say.
Cool. And then probably the last question, Matt, was your investment in your future through Match Guarantee, was it worth it?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. I think so. Because to me, I'm getting on. You know, age-wise, you could spend, you know, years and years trying to meet girls. And date girls, things might not happen. So it's not, you know, that time's gone, and time's precious. So I needed to basically find as many, or to see as many women as I can, in a short space of time. I think that's what you get with this. But not only that, you get the you know, you get the help. They help you with the Skype, they help you with the interpreters and things like that. So in addition to that, you've also got that. So again, I think time is precious. You know, you're never going to get your time back, and you know, to be able to get as many, see as many women, to meet as many women, and to talk to as many women, it's the best way to do it, really.
You heard it from the British stud.
Thanks,
Ewan. You've been great. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. If you like these lives, these raw and real lives with clients in Kyiv, please give this video a thumbs up. Write in comments below if you want us to continue on this. Most of our clients, I don't know why, but they're brave enough when I ask them to go live. They become willing victims. I mean participants.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you guys hopefully in Kyiv this summer, 2021.